All right. Let's take a deep dive into PDFs today.
Okay.
It looks like you're really interested in converting pretty much anything into a PDF,
Yeah,
and that you want to find a method that's simple and reliable.
that's right.
You've also included some stuff about this program called Qt PDF.
Yes.
So,
It seems like you're looking for a straightforward way to harness the power of the PDFs. And
okay.
what I think is interesting here is that this source really focuses on one very specific approach.
Yeah.
It's all about this program called Qt PDF, and it really highlights the universal usability of PDFs,
Okay.
especially like their compatibility across different devices and platforms. Yeah.
This Qt PDF sounds pretty interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious about how it works. The source says that you can use this website called Knight.com to download and install it.
Right.
And it really emphasizes how user-friendly the whole process
Yeah.
is. Like, there are no complicated settings or annoying toolbars that you have to deal with.
It walks us through the process and assures us that it handles all the defaults for us.
Nice.
Yeah, and the really clever thing about Qt PDF is that it acts as a virtual printer. So instead of sending your document to like a physical printer,
Right.
you print to Qt PDF, and then it captures that output as a PDF.
Okay.
It's a really brilliant workaround that lets you create PDFs from pretty much any application.
So it's like this digital sleight of hand.
Yeah.
You just turn a document into a PDF by using the print function.
That's right.
I see.
Yeah.
The source actually gives a step-by-step example using a recipe.
Yes.
But I did notice a little inconsistency with the recipe, though.
Oh.
They start out with a baked ziti recipe,
Okay.
then they switch to grilled salmon,
Huh.
and then they go back to baked ziti.
Interesting.
I don't know what's going on there.
Well, the core message is clear.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's a web page, a Word document, or even this, seemingly ever-changing recipe.
Right.
You select print, you choose Qt PDF as your printer,
Yeah.
and there you have it, a PDF.
So I'm starting to see the appeal here. This method completely bypasses the need for any specialized PDF editing software.
Exactly.
So this means it's accessible to basically anybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who can use basic computer functions can master this technique.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, what this means is no more compatibility headaches when you're sharing files.
That's right.
So reports, articles, recipes,
Yeah,
anything can be transformed into this universally readable PDF.
precisely. It's like having a universal translator for digital documents. It ensures that the information is displayed correctly, no matter what software or operating system the recipient has.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this is making me think about all the times I've struggled with file compatibility issues.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a real pain when you send someone a document
Uh-huh.
and they can't open it properly,
Right.
or the formatting's all messed up. PDFs really do seem to solve that problem.
They absolutely do. And you know what?
Yeah.
The source goes beyond just the how-to of using Qt PDF.
Okay.
It also touches on why PDFs have become so essential in today's digital world.
Yeah, they mentioned that PDFs are secure, they maintain formatting integrity,
Yes.
and that they're very widely accepted.
Uh-huh.
So it really sounds like they've become the standard for a reason.
Exactly. And the source points out that PDFs are especially important in professional settings.
Okay.
So think about contracts, legal documents,
Right.
research papers,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. The reliability of PDFs is just crucial in these contexts.
I can see that.
They offer a level of security and verifiability that other formats just can't match.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Like, for example, digital signatures on contracts.
Right.
Those are only possible with a PDF.
You need a format that guarantees that the content won't be tampered with.
It's like the digital equivalent of a signed and sealed document. Precisely. And there's another aspect of PDFs that the source highlights,
Okay.
and that is their archival quality.
Interesting.
It's like capturing a snapshot of a document that remains unchanged over time, regardless of any software updates or technological shifts.
So they're not just about practicality and security, they're also about preservation.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate on that a bit more?
Of course. So think about it this way. Imagine you find a digital document from 20 years ago.
Okay.
Chances are, if it's a PDF, you'll still be able to open and read it without any issues.
Wow.
This permanence is incredibly valuable in a world where digital information can be so fleeting.
It's almost like they've become the modern-day equivalent of a printed document,
Yeah.
providing a sense of tangibility and permanence in a digital world.
Mm.
But isn't there a downside to this?
Mm.
Doesn't this make them harder to edit?
That's a great point. While PDFs excel at preserving the visual layout of a document
Right.
and ensuring its longevity, they do have some limitations.
Okay.
Editing a PDF can be a lot more challenging than editing a Word document,
Yeah.
and you often need specialized software for that.
And I've also noticed that PDFs can sometimes have really large file sizes,
You're right.
especially if they contain lots of images or graphics,
Yep.
which can be a bit of a hassle when sharing them electronically.
You're absolutely right.
But God.
Oh, and while they're fantastic for maintaining visual consistency, they're not always ideal for accessibility.
Right.
PDFs can sometimes be difficult for people who rely on screen readers or other assistive technologies.
So it seems like there are trade-offs with any format.
Exactly.
PDFs are great for certain things, like
Right.
sharing documents reliably and preserving them over time,
Yes.
but they might not be the best choice for every situation.
It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Right.
And in many cases, PDFs are the ideal solution.
This cute PDF program definitely seems like a handy tool to have in your digital toolbox.
It is.
It's simple, it's effective,
Yeah.
and it gives you a way to tap into the power of PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also kind of curious about the broader implications of this.
Okay.
The source mentions that the rise of PDFs reflects a need for stability and reliability in this increasingly digital world.
Absolutely.
Can you expand on that idea a little bit?
I think it's fascinating how this seemingly simple technique of creating PDFs connects to this larger shift in how we interact with information. The digital world is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
with new formats and technologies emerging all the time.
It can feel overwhelming at times trying to keep up with all the changes.
Exactly. And in this environment of constant flux,
Right.
PDFs offer a sense of stability.
Okay.
They represent a format that we can rely on, a format that transcends the limitations of specific software or operating systems.
It's like finding a solid anchor in a sea of constantly changing formats and technologies.
I like that analogy. And I think it raises an interesting question.
Okay. So with PDFs offering this kind of stability, what does that mean for the future of digital documents?
It's an intriguing question. As technology keeps advancing, will PDFs remain this crucial anchor? Or will something else emerge? Perhaps a format that combines the permanence of PDFs with the flexibility of more easily editable documents.
That's a good question.
It's something to ponder.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
So to recap for our listeners,
Okay.
Qt PDF appears to be a clever and convenient tool for anyone looking to dive into the world of PDFs.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's effective, and it unlocks a whole range of possibilities for document sharing and preservation.
What I find particularly insightful is how this seemingly basic technique connects to a broader trend in how we handle information in our digital lives.
Yeah.
The rise of PDFs goes beyond mere functionality.
Right.
It speaks to a need for security, reliability, and permanence in a world where digital content can feel so transient.
It's like finding an enduring format in a sea of ever-shifting digital sands.
Indeed.
A comforting thought in this constantly evolving landscape.
It makes you wonder what other hidden gems might be out there waiting to be discovered.
That's true.
Perhaps there are tools and techniques that can simplify our digital lives in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder to stay curious and keep exploring new possibilities in the digital realm.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Of course.
Who knows what digital mysteries we'll uncover next time? This is making me think about all those times I've had trouble with file compatibility.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a pain. You know when you send someone a document
Right.
and they can't open it or the formatting is messed up?
Yeah, it's the worst.
PDFs really do seem like the perfect solution for this.
They really do. And, you know, the source, actually,
Wait.
it goes beyond just like the how-to of using Qt PDF.
Okay.
It also gets into why PDFs have become so important today.
Right. They talk about how PDFs are secure and how they keep the formatting intact and how they're so widely accepted.
That's a big one.
It sounds like they've become the standard for a reason.
They really have. And the source makes a good point about PDFs being especially important for professional stuff.
Oh, okay.
So things like contracts, legal documents, research papers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The reliability of PDFs is super important in those situations.
Makes sense.
They offer a level of security and, you know, making sure things are accurate
Right.
that other formats just can't match.
That's true.
Like digital signatures on contracts.
Oh, right.
You can only do that with a PDF.
You need a format where you can be sure that nothing's been changed.
Right.
It's like the digital version of a signed and sealed document.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
there's another thing about PDF that the source points out.
Okay.
Their archival quality.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like taking a snapshot of a document,
Okay.
and that snapshot stays the same over time,
Oh.
no matter what happens with software updates or new technology.
So PDFs aren't just about being practical and secure.
Right.
They're also about preserving things.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
It is.
Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Sure. So imagine you find a document from 20 years ago.
Okay.
If it's a PDF, you'll probably still be able to open it and read it.
Really?
Yeah, without any issues.
Wow.
That's super valuable now when digital information can disappear so easily.
It's like they've become the modern version of a paper document.
Kind of.
You get that same sense of something solid and lasting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering, isn't there a downside to this?
Mm,
Doesn't that make them harder to change?
that's a great point. PDFs are great at keeping the way a document looks the same
Right.
and making sure it lasts a long time. But
Yeah.
there are some drawbacks.
Huh.
Yeah, editing a PDF can be much harder than editing something like a Word document.
Yeah.
And you often need special software to do it.
I've also noticed that PDF files can get pretty big,
Oh, yeah.
especially when they have a lot of pictures or graphics,
Right.
which can be annoying if you're trying to send them to people.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
PDFs are great at keeping everything looking consistent,
Uh-huh.
but they're not always the best for accessibility.
Oh, right.
They can be difficult for people who use screen readers or other assistive technologies.
So it seems like every format has its pros and cons.
Exactly.
PDFs are great for some things, like
Wow.
sharing documents reliably and making sure they last.
Yeah.
But they might not be the best choice in every situation.
You need to choose the right tool for the job.
Right.
And in many cases, PDFs are the best solution.
This cute PDF program really does seem like a great tool to have.
It is, yeah.
Simple, effective.
Uh-huh.
It lets you take advantage of all the good things about PDFs.
Exactly.
I'm also interested in the bigger picture here.
Okay.
The source talks about how PDFs became popular because people need stability and reliability in our digital world. It's true.
Can you talk more about that?
I think it's fascinating how this really simple technique of creating PDFs is connected to a bigger change in how we deal with information.
Mm-hmm.
The digital world is always changing.
Yeah.
With new formats and new technology all the time.
You can be really hard to keep up.
I know, and in this world where everything is always changing,
Right.
PDFs offer a sense of stability.
Okay.
They're a format we can count on, a
Oh.
format that works no matter what software or operating system you have.
It's like finding a solid anchor in a sea of constantly changing formats and technologies.
I like that analogy,
Me too.
and it makes you think.
So if PDFs give us this stability, what does that mean for digital documents in the future?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
You know, as technology keeps developing, will PDFs still be this really important anchor? Or will something new come along?
Right.
Maybe a format that combines the permanence of PDFs with the flexibility of documents that are easier to edit.
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's something to think about. Definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
So just to sum up for our listeners,
Okay.
Qt PDF seems like a really useful tool for anyone who wants to get into PDFs.
It is.
It's simple and effective,
Yeah.
and it opens up a lot of possibilities for sharing and preserving documents.
And I think it's really insightful how this simple technique of creating PDFs is part of a larger trend in how we manage information.
Yeah,
The popularity of PDFs is about more than just their functionality.
right.
It shows that we need security, reliability, and permanence in a world where digital content can be so temporary.
It's like finding a format that lasts in a sea of digital formats that are always changing.
Exactly.
It's a comforting thought in this world where technology is always evolving.
It makes you wonder what other useful tools are out there waiting to be found.
Yeah.
Maybe there are tools and techniques that can make our digital lives easier in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it reminds us to stay curious and keep exploring the digital world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
You're welcome.
Who knows what we'll discover next time?